is the 1948 V-tail Bonanza with a 225 horsepower Continental engine, flown by the Crane family since 1956. This airplane was a bronze Lindy winner in Oshkosh 2021, was featured in the July 2022 EAA Vintage magazine, and also the July 2021 issue. Up next is a 1943 Beach Model 17 Staggerwing powered by a 450 horsepower Pratt & Whitney engine. This airplane restored after a hailstorm in 2020. The pilot Justin Namiski and his son Lively restored the airplane. Next up is a 1947 Grumman G44 Super Widget flown by Mike Pratt. This airplane was originally powered with a 6-cylinder 200 horsepower Ranger engine. It has been upgraded to a Lycoming G480 engine generating 295 horsepower. Mike has been coming to Oshkosh as part of the Metro Warbird for 30 of their 40 years. Up next, we have a very rare airplane, a 1950 Myers 145. It's probably the best airplane you've never heard of. Only 22 of these aircraft were built in Tecumseh, Michigan, and 10 are still flying today. This aircraft is powered by a Continental C-145 and cruises at 140 miles per hour. To date, there has never been a fatal accident and there are no ADs on this airplane. Up next, a Stinson 1946 Stinson 108 Voyager that left the Detroit factory on Christmas Day of 1946. Stinsons are well-designed airplanes with a long history of being rugged and reliable. This airplane is powered by the original 6-cylinder Franklin engine, which generates 165 horsepower. The pilot, Mark Cohorn, is a retired nurse and has had this yellow Stinson for 22 years. Up next, the de Havilland Beaver Mark I, powered by a 450 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R985 radio engine. The vast majority of these aircraft were built for the U.S. military. You often see them in Alaska. These airplanes are not fast, but they are faster than a dog sled. This airplane started life in 1963 as an air taxi in Columbia. We have now the 1962 Helio Courier. This airplane, flown by the JARS organization, was built for the U.S. Air Force as a U-10B and assigned to train pilots in Southeast Asia. JARS is a Jungle Aviation and Radio Service. It's a Christian organization that translates the Bible to the different languages, and this airplane is a jungle airplane for sure. The 1962 Helio Courier. The pilot Tim Root grew up in New Guinea as part of the JARS family and is an Air Force veteran. Our next airplane is a 1947 Fairchild R-24 with a 200 horsepower Ranger 440 engine. Fairchilds have a reputation as a well-built airplane, evidenced by the number still flying. This particular aircraft was featured in 1991 in EAA Vintage wearing a Coast Guard livery and has been to EAA Venture 3 times. The pilot is Jack Haggerty. As you may have heard now, it's the 75th anniversary of the Cessna 170. This beautiful 1948 Cessna 170 is one of the originals with a fabric-covered wing and landing flare tubes. Laura Benton, the pilot, is the current president of Ladies Love Taildraggers and took her first flight in this exact airplane when she was just 10 days old. Laura has never missed a convention since she was 10 years old. You'll need your sunglasses now. for this 1946 Air Coupe 415D that won the Outstanding Air Coupe Award in 2022. Air Coupes are a part of the fun and affordable group that we have in the Vintage Aircraft Association. Alan Cuthbert is a fourth-generation pilot who soloed an Air Coupe on his 16th birthday. Alan found and bought this airplane because his great-grandfather owned it, and he's owned it himself for 3 years. Next, we have a beautiful, everyone loves a Champ. This is a 1946 7AC Aranca Champ. Came out of the Middletown, Ohio factory with a 65 horsepower engine. This aircraft started its life surveying and a pipeline and has been featured in the 2021 Sport Aviation. Brady Sherrow is the pilot. Rounding out our vintage in review, this is interesting, folks. Watch closely. This is a 1936 Taylor J2. It has a one-bladed prop, Wayne, a one-bladed prop. Just 40 horsepower. This is an example of a first-generation A40, and the engine just develops 37 horsepower. Enjoy these airplanes as they circle around. Wayne, incredible group of airplanes.
Incredible group of airplanes. They're beautifully restored and maintained, and of course you see them. They've got a wide range of speeds, so some of them may be overtaking some of the
They are.
others.
Mark Stewart, the pilot of the A40, he arranged to have 10 airplanes out there all together. They all flew in here with 40 horsepower that really only developed 37 horsepower.
40 was not the new. That single blade propeller, they didn't forget one, did they?
But no, they didn't. It was an